You know, every time I hear that song, I think of two things. I think, first of all, for three things. First of all, rest in peace, DMX. Great artist, made a lot of some of my favorite songs of all time. And I also want to say that I think of Anderson Silva when he was the UFC middleweight champion and was so just, you know, what a great time period it was to watch that man in his prime. I feel bad for those who missed it. And third of all, I think of Exit Wounds. You know, the movie the movie that had that song on the soundtrack with Steven Seagal and DMX. So good times. Anyways, welcome. It is Geekdom After Dark. Once in a while, I do these late night streams. Usually my sleep schedule's all jacked up and I feel like talking, so we are live right now. It's November 1st. It's not Halloween anymore. Technically, it's the day after Halloween, so it's not really that spooky. It's 5 a.m. here. I tried to go live about an hour ago, but I had an outage at home. My ISP gave me an outage, and I just called them on the phone and told them, like, yo, like, this is a problem. And I pretty much was like, yo, like, this is a problem. And they gave me like a big discount on my next bill. So that was good. That was good they did that. And I'm glad that they did that. So there you go. So what I want to talk about tonight is Dragon Ball Daima, people's reaction to Dragon Ball Daima, and my actual opinion on it. Because I think a lot of people... even though I've covered the Dragon Ball Daima story, I haven't really given my opinion on it, like what I think, and I think that I need to talk about it tonight. Now, why is bro live at 5 a.m.? I just said that. I just told you why I was live at 5 a.m. Didn't I just say that? Maybe you just got here. You missed the beginning part of the stream. I've only been live for 3 minutes, something like that. You know? So I want to discuss people's opinions on Dragon Ball Daima before I give my own. First of all, there's some people in the chat that gave their opinion already. First of all, you shouldn't really have an opinion yet because you haven't seen a single episode. I want to reference, but I understand why you would say what you're going to say, and I'm going to address it. I'm going to address what you're saying, give my thoughts on Dragon Ball Daima, my honest thoughts. C3 says, unfortunately, Dragon Ball Daima will be, and then he shows a picture of trash. Add insult to injury. It's not coming out allegedly until October 2024. What the hell is Toei doing? Well, just the fact that you said add insult to injury, it's not coming out October 2024, kind of shows that you don't know what you're talking about. Would you rather Dragon Ball Daima come out now, be unfinished, look like Dragon Ball Super Episode 5, and then you're going to bitch about how the animation is going to be garbage? Or would you rather give them time to finish what they're doing? Like, I don't understand why... I understand from a content creator perspective why, like, people want it now. I don't understand why people think that's a bad thing they have to wait a year. You know that they are... You know why they are taking their time? Because they want it to be good. And I'm going to go over all that in a video. Right? No, I'm not saying he's a clown for his opinion. It's just Dragon Ball Super was announced and had an 8-week production schedule. 8 weeks. Dragon Ball Daima has been worked on now for 2 years and will be worked on for another year. So I just don't understand. Like, this is one of those times where I sit here and I say, Dragon Ball fans don't know what they want. Like, Dragon Ball fans are like young women, bro. They just don't know what they want. C3 says they shouldn't have said anything until Daima was close to release. I can't tell if you're being serious, bro. I can't tell, like, if you're being serious or if you, like... Okay, so by your logic, no company should ever hype anything up more than a year out. That's what you're, by your logic, right? Because you've owned many successful companies, right? So every time so Spider-Man 2 that just came out last week or 2 weeks ago, right? They shouldn't have announced that 2 years ago. They should have just waited until now. Like, and the thing is, I'm not trying to pick on you, but this is a fundamental problem with Dragon Ball fans. Dragon Ball fans want more Dragon Ball, right? I get it. I want more Dragon Ball. I get it, bro. Trust me, I get it. But your logic here is they shouldn't have said anything until they were closer to releasing it. Why? Why? Like, I don't really understand that. Like, talking about like logic, like just logic wise, like I don't really understand why that's a problem. I've never ever heard somebody say, oh, they should have waited till later to announce something. Why? I don't get that. Like, what if they said it was coming out 2025? Would that have made a difference? I just don't understand that. Now, the other thing I don't understand, and I'm going to go into my opinion here in just a moment, but the other thing I do not understand is I don't understand why all of a sudden now people are caping the Moro arc. People are now like, oh, we wanted the Moro arc. And I'm thinking to myself, since when? You know, I'm being honest, like since when? I didn't hate the Moro arc. I liked the first half of it. Second half wasn't so good. C3, listen to what you're saying, so we wouldn't have to wait so long. You have to wait the same amount of time anyways, bro. Like, listen to what you're saying. You're saying they shouldn't have said anything and announced it sooner, but you would have still been waiting a year. This has to be one of those one of these TikTok people, right? Like the TikTok people. Well, I want it now. And it's like, okay, if you want Dragon Ball Daima now, you're going to get an unfinished product that looks like shit. And you're already shitting on it. So you're going to shit on it even more. I don't understand, man. I don't get that. Like, I just don't get that. They should have waited till later to announce it. Why? Why would they? I wish that they would announce more things ahead of time. I wish that they would announce more things ahead of time. Now, the other person in the chat said, well, the animation's good, but the writing's going to be trash. How do you know the writing is trash? If a single episode hasn't even come out yet, how can you judge the writing of a story that is still ongoing? I don't understand that. It's weird to me, bro. Now, I'm not even trying to defend Daima. I'm just trying to understand people's opinion. Since when has this Moro arc love? We wanted Moro. Since when? Like, Moro, I've had people tell me they don't want the Moro arc anime. They hate it so much. I don't hate it. I dislike the second half. But it's weird because like, the Moro arc, I think what people really want is they want more Dragon Ball Super. Right? And I understand that. Why do I understand that? Well, for a few reasons. Number one, I understand that because the Dragon Ball Super manga has gone ahead of the anime. And because of that, there are arcs that have yet to be animated, which is the Moro, Granola, all those things. C3 said nobody asked for this. I'm going to address that nobody asked for this thing. I'm going to address that because you're not the only person to say that. But I'm going to give my thoughts on that in just a minute. It's weird that now all of a sudden everybody wants the Moro arc. Now again, I want more Dragon Ball Super. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. Because you want to know why I really want more Dragon Ball Super? It's not because I love the Moro and Granola arc stories. Heaven knows that I don't. They're okay. The Moro arc was probably the best written Dragon Ball Super arc, right? But Lord knows I'm not in a rush to see that animated. I think the issue is that people want more Dragon Ball Super because we want to continue the story. And really what I think people want, and this is the one thing that every Dragon Ball fan has in common, including C3, including everybody in the chat, including people on Facebook, including myself, including sub fans, dub fans, what do we really want? Let's think real hard. What do we really, really want? What is the one thing that all Dragon Ball fans want? And here's a clue. It's not Dragon Ball Super Season 2. Dragon Ball fans, I'm going to give you the answer. And tell me if I'm lying. Dragon Ball fans, what Dragon Ball fans really want, guys and gals in the chat, they want the story to go past the end of Z. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies. The one thing that everybody wants, all of you, me, my friends, Facebook, Instagram, it's not about Super. Who cares? They want a story after the end of Z. They want to know what happens after. And not GT. They want to know what happens after. That's more important than animating the Moro and Granola arcs. But we know that they're going to have to do that first before we get to that after end of Z thing. Right? So that's what I think people really want. And I get it. Because let's be honest, man. No, this is not Geekdom versus C3. This is not... I'm not fighting that guy. I'm addressing his comments because I'm gonna respond to something he said. This is not me versus the chat. That's not what this is. So don't turn it into that. C3 and I have no issues, but I'm addressing him because he made a comment that I've seen elsewhere, and he's not the only one that said this. I'm just saying he's here, and this is Geekdom After Dark, bro. There aren't that many people here. This is a nice, small, intimate stream, so I can talk to you. You understand that if this were a regular stream, I wouldn't even see what C3 is saying because the chat would be moving so fast. The fact that I'm able to read C3's comment now actually makes me happy because I couldn't even do that on a regular stream. Were you here during the fucking Daima reveal? There was 12,000 people in the chat. You think I could read anything anybody was saying? Dude, it was like, as much as like a content creator loves having a big audience, I'm gonna be real with you. It's hard to talk to you guys when there's a lot of people. It's almost overwhelming. Like, I'm gonna be honest, 12,000 people at once that was overwhelming for me. I've never hit those numbers even when Super was on the air. Team 4-Star hit those numbers once. Think about that. So I'm over here. You guys didn't see this from me because I hid it from you guys because I was too busy working. But I was telling my Discord, yo, check the chat, because there were so many words flying by that no human being could read that. So the fact that I'm doing this stream with less people, right? I like this. I like doing these streams once in a while because I can actually talk to y'all. Now, I want to address what C3 said when he said nobody wanted this. I agree. He's right. Nobody wanted this. When I first found out about Dragon Ball Daima, it was in late August. I found out that Anime AJ knew earlier, I think in August. Pretty much August is when the leaks started to come out, right? And when I first heard that Goku was turning into a kid again, do you understand how, I wish y'all could have seen my face. I was like, I can't even replicate the face, bro. I was like, I don't even know what to even say to that. Because I said the same thing. What C3, here's the thing. What C3 is thinking is the same thing I'm thinking. Why are they doing this? It's not, you have to understand how people use words. C3 saying nobody wanted this. What he's really saying is, why in the hell would they do this? And I kind of agree. It's a weird decision. You would think logically that they would just finish off the super manga stuff and move on. But they didn't do that. You know? And I'm talking about when I first found out, when I was told behind the scenes. I'm not talking about during the stream. I'm talking about when I first found out, and then I did my video a few weeks later because it was getting out. It was so weird, man. So I want to address the we didn't want this. So the whole we didn't want this thing, I agree. I don't know anyone whose bingo card said that they were going to do this. It's completely out of left field. However, there is a reason why they're doing this. And there's a video that I made. So let me explain y'all a bit more about this. So there's a video I made that I can't upload yet because I have to remake the video. I made this video about a month ago where I discussed exactly why Dragon Ball Daima's here and not Super. Like the reason, the real reason, right? And I have to remake that video. And the reason why I have to remake the video is because A, I have new information. And B, I called it Dragon Ball Magic in the original video. So I'm saying Dragon Ball Magic, Dragon Ball Magic, Dragon Ball Magic, Dragon Ball Super, Dragon Ball Magic. And I have to re-record it because it's no longer called Dragon Ball Magic. It's now called Dragon Ball Daima. What could I do? I didn't know they were going to change the name a week before the announcement. Nobody knew that. We've got animation sheets that call it Dragon Ball Magic still. So you're going to, yes, the sneak peek thing. I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek or whatever. Jordan, you're not entirely right, but you're not wrong either. Like you're right, but there's more to it than that. I know it's okay, Capuche. I'm sorry if I messed up your name, bro. I apologize. I know it's okay. It's just a thing where like I want it to be a thorough video. But what I was gonna say was, the reason why Dragon Ball. So here's kind of the. Here's the reality. You got two choices. We either get Dragon Ball Daima or we get nothing. And if you'd rather pick nothing than Dragon Ball Daima, I don't know what's wrong with you. Why would you want nothing? You understand what I'm saying? When you can have something. Now, that goes into my opinion. What do I think about Dragon Ball Daima? Here's the problem, is that I know too much. What do I mean by I know too much? And this is not me trying to fucking. I'm not trying to play big shot here. I'm gonna elaborate on what I mean. It's not what you think. Dragon Ball Daima is going to be different than Dragon Ball Super in many ways. And in my opinion, with the exception of the main cast being kids for at least the first arc, right? Everything that Dragon Ball Daima is doing is better than Dragon Ball Super. The writing is going to be more consistent because you've got a showrunner involved who's deep in the weeds with the television writers. You're not going to have weird plot bullshit you got in Super. The animation is sure as hell going to be better. You've seen that in the trailer. And honestly, the fights are going to be better. So when I say I know too much, that's what I mean. I know for a fact that one of the early episodes of Daima is going to have fights where people are going to real quick change their minds. You understand what I'm saying? So, if most people like Dragon Ball for the characters, the story, and the fights, I would say the vast majority of people like the fight. I mean, look, I'd be stupid if I said that. I'd be stupid if I said that, like, the fights are not important. That would be dumb because most of us got into Dragon Ball from watching a fight. Like, you know, you're clicking through the channels and what's this? Or at least the cool looking characters. The fights in Dragon Ball Daima will be better than Dragon Ball Super. Because when you look back at Dragon Ball Super's fights, they really weren't that good. I don't know how many of y'all have gone back to rewatch Super, but here's what I'll ask you to do. Go back and rewatch Super and then go back and rewatch Dragon Ball and Z and tell me and compare them. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z have so much better fights than Super. It's insane. Super, and when I say like the Supers, I'm not saying every fight was bad because obviously we had a lot of good ones. But the early Dragon Ball Super fights, Goku versus Golden Frieza was like embarrassing. Goku and Goku Black could have been so much better. That was a big improvement, but it could have been so much better. Goku versus Jiren was really, really good. Both the Ultra Instinct Omen and the final version. Those were great. And then, of course, Broly was phenomenal. So think about this for a minute. One thing I saw a lot of people say that they want Dragon Ball to be animated like Broly. So if Dragon Ball Daima is going to have episodes that look like Broly, isn't that what you want? Right? The problem is, am I excited for Goku being a kid again? It's not what I would have done. This is where me and C3 and other people agree. I wouldn't have turned Goku into a kid again. I would have figured out a different curse. If the story's supposed to be that the main characters are all hit with a spell, I would have thought it would be funnier if they turned them into like frogs or something, like some kind of like little Captain Ginyu Old Testament shit. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But you know, it's fine. They made them kids again. I know why, because they wanted to capitalize on the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball. Right? So they wanted to have the imagery of Goku as a kid again. SQ Kakarot says that's why we hate GT though. Yeah, but this is not GT. Like, how many times do we have to tell you this is not GT? Like, how many fucking times? You have to wait till next year when you actually see it. Like, how many times do we have to repeat over and over again that it's not GT? Before people, so we're gonna have to wait till next year when it airs, and then this ain't GT. Look, it's not GT, guys. We were wrong. It's so weird, man. So, I don't think Dragon Ball Daima is a decision that I would have made, but I'm not going to shit on it because the fact that the people working on this are given the time and the budget to produce something really good, I'm not going to hate on it because I don't know. And it's okay. It could suck. This could be, like I said, I even wrote in my thing, will Dragon Ball Daima be trash or be good? It could be trash. Toriyama's not the same writer he was back then. Back in the day. Why are people saying it's worse than GT if not a single episode is aired? Do you understand that if you say something like it's worse than GT before a single episode airs, you kind of have no credibility? Like, that's such a weird thing, you know? Now, it could be trash, but to so confidently say that it is weird to me because you don't even know anything. Like, you don't even know who the villains are. You know nothing about the villains. You don't know why they're being kids again. You've never seen a single fight. We don't know. It's not what I would have done. I wouldn't have done this. The reason why Dragon Ball Daima exists is because as much as Akio has been trying to bring back Dragon Ball Super, which, by the way, let's not forget all those goofballs who shat on Akio like a month and a half ago. They all look stupid now. You can't sit here and shit on Akio and then want Super, because you're shitting on the guy who wants Super to come back. Dragon Ball Daima exists because Shueisha does not want there to be a Dragon Ball Super anime right now, because there's not enough manga content for them to allow there to be an anime. The Dragon Ball Super manga began as a promotional for the original Dragon Ball Super anime. Now things have changed. Shueisha and Akio have been involved in a behind-the-scenes power struggle then because of that, we're getting Dragon Ball Daima. Would you rather have Dragon Ball Daima or would you rather have nothing? Let me answer some of these super chats, all right, before I go any further. Because there's more information, but I'm going to give you this. Midsummer Miho says the argument that nobody asked for Daima is a nothing point. Nobody asked for Super, but we got it and some like it. Shows how DB fans don't know what they want. Well, people wanted more Dragon Ball, but I think when Dragon Ball fans wanted more Dragon Ball, I think they wanted something that was after Z. That goes back to what I said earlier. Dragon Ball fans want after Z. That's what they want. Right? Phantom89 says Danny ain't pregnant, but he always delivers. Thank you. Now, C3 says this. I'm going to answer C3 Super Chat. He says, they honestly could have made another film similar to DBS Broly, but with Moro. DBS Moro. That could have been very acceptable and amazing if they could replicate Broly's success. Appreciate the convo. Here's where I take your idea and shred it apart. Respectfully. Respectfully. So you're telling me that you want Toei to take a 2-year-long story arc and cut it down to a 90-minute movie. That's your idea. You're telling me that you think it's a good idea to take a 2-year-long manga arc, 24 chapters, and cut it down into a freaking movie? So then what happens? DBS Moro comes out, cuts half the story, and guess what? You still bitch. You still bitch and complain. Well, why did they even do the Moro movie, man? Why did they even do the Moro movie? We wanted an anime, man. They should have left the manga alone. That's what I'm saying. Like, think about that. You think about what you're saying. How could it be possible, legit, for them to take an arc that's that long and make it into one movie? It could be longer than 90 minutes. Okay, so you want them to take 24 chapters and make it into a 3-hour movie? First of all, it can't be longer than 90 minutes because they never release animated films longer than 90 minutes in Japan. In Toei, that is. So you're already wrong about that. But let's go ahead and get to your point then. Let's say it's a 3-hour movie. How can you fit a 24 chapter story arc into a 3-hour movie? Then I have to hear you bitching about that. Oh well, they looks cool, bro, but they cut out the first fight with Moro. They cut out Majin Buu. They cut you can't win with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't work. Now, if your idea is, well, they could take the Moro arc and make it into 3 movies, that I believe a little bit more. But it still would cut out a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Like, it would still cut out a lot of stuff. Like, that would piss off people. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying that having the Moro arc animated... Look, if you're going to animate the Moro arc, right? Yes, multi-part movie could work. I think if you're going to animate the Moro arc, right, it needs to be in a TV show. Here's the problem. The problem is that Shueisha doesn't want it. And that's just the way it is. Like, I think the issue is that a lot of people, and maybe it's because I'm older, maybe I'm past this part of my life, but if they're going to do the Moro arc, if you're going to animate the Moro arc, it needs to be a TV show. It needs to be Dragon Ball Super, the anime, right? But Shueisha's not going to let them do it. Now, do I think that's a dumb move? Yes. I think they should have already started on the Moro arc. They should have already started the Moro arc, right? But Shueisha just said no. So I think the copium is with the fandom expecting things to change. Like one, and again, like Austin just said in the chat, since when is the Moro arc all that great? Like, I remember people shitting on the Moro arc every month when it was around. I criticized it a little bit, and people called me a hater. I said something was good, and people called me a fanboy. Like, it's just, I remember people shitting on the Moro arc. Now, again, it should be done in anime, right? Fair point. But Shueisha's just not going to do that now. So if your choice is Dragon Ball Daima or Dragon Ball or nothing, why would you pick nothing? I don't understand. Honestly, dude, if you would pick nothing over Daima, you're not a real fan. You're just not. If you would rather see nothing and have another year of no content and nothing new and no new stories because you hate the idea of Daima without seeing a single episode, bro, I question your fandom. It's different if Daima comes and goes and you say, oh, okay, that sucked. That fucking sucked. Then I agree. Then we can go back and say they shouldn't have done it. But not a single episode has aired yet. Not a single one. What if episode 1 airs and then all of a sudden you say, oh, this wasn't so bad. Nobody says you have to like it. Nobody says you have to like it more than Super. But you have to also think about this. Was Super really that good? I don't want Dragon Ball Daima and I don't want Dragon Ball Super. I want after the end of Z. That's what I want. I don't give a fuck what you call it. I don't give a damn what you call it. I want after the end of Z. That's what I want. I want to know what happens after the end of Z from the mind of Toriyama, not Kozo Morishita and Toei, from Toriyama. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying that Daima's going to be good. But because I know the people that are working on it, all I'm going to get is, okay, let's look at this. I got an idea. I'm going to play a game with you guys. We're going to play a game together. Me and the rest of you guys. Because I want y'all to help me here. I just came up with this idea just now live. And all you guys can chip in with this. So hang on one quick second. Let me turn on the... Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'm going to play a game with you guys. Because we're going to really figure this out. Okay. Check it out. Here's what I want to do with you guys. Hold on. Okay. So, let me open this up. Hold on. I'm almost ready. Just give me one more second. We're all going to play this game together. Okay. And I'm serious, by the way. I want all you guys to do this with me. I want the fact that you're here on Geekdom After Dark means I can do shit that I can't normally do on regular streams. So I want all you guys to work with me on this one. And yes, that includes you, Jordan, everybody. I want all you guys. Yes, C3, that includes you as well. I want everybody to get involved in this. We're going to have a good time today. This morning, tonight, whatever. Okay. Hold on one second. I got to get this ready. All right. Here's what we're going to do. This is going to be an interactive stream. Very interactive. First, I'm gonna answer that super chat that just came in, and then we're gonna do something together. We're gonna play a little game here. Hold on. The game's gonna be called Dragon Ball Daima, good or trash. Let me get to these super chats, and then we're gonna play the game. All right, hold on, stand by. I'm actually excited to play this game with you guys because we're gonna do it all together. All right, first, Itchy Ball says Mario Wonder's so fun. Also, bro, Dragon Quest Dai is peak fiction, so damn, the Baron arc was crazy, way better from anything from Super. Just saying. Well, it's got a different writer, and Dragon Quest Dai is awesome. Yash Bex Jerry, sorry if I messed your name up. Screw it, we'll do more Sandland. We don't deserve DB. I haven't seen the Sandland movie yet, so I can't comment on whether or not it was good or bad. But Sandland's being done by Toho, not Toei, so it's a different studio. Whoa, Jarrera says, I just really hope they are only kids for like 1 to 2 episodes, 3 max. You're wrong about that. I want them to have adult fights and have real progression. They're not going to be kids for 3 episodes, bro. They're going to be kids for a while. I'm sorry. I'm telling you that now. See me a year from now if I'm wrong. They're not going to be kids for 1 or 2 episodes. Ding Dong, check my last video. Check 2 videos ago on the channel, bro. I talked about that. And then he says, please tell me what you think of that. Having them be kids for more than a tiny part of Daima. They're going to be kids for a while, bro. Just, dude, get over it. Like, I'm sorry, but you got to get over this shit, bro. Like, get over it. MTS, I apologize if this is a stupid question, but did the old DBZ movies have manga retellings back in the day? No, they had what was called, that's not a stupid question. The old Dragon Ball Z movies did not have manga retellings. They had what's called the Ani manga, which is basically they took panels from the movie, like screenshots, and made it into manga, but it wasn't original manga. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to play a game right now. And the game is called Good or Trash, Dragon Ball Daima. So we're going to look at the pros and cons, right? And we're going to figure out together whether or not this is going to be good or bad based on what we know so far. So it's what we know, pros and cons, and what we don't know. So number 1, pros, animation, right? It's going to have great animation. You've already seen the trailer. You know it's going to look better than Super. You already know this. They got people from Broly working on this. They got Kubota working on this. We know this already, bro. We know this already. It's going to have good animation. So animation already wins. Cons. Kids again. I'm putting that in here because a lot of you guys don't like it, and I understand why. So it's going to have kids again. That's just the way it is. Get over it. What we don't know. Villains. We do not know anything about the villains. We know that we can speculate they might be associated with the Majins or some kind of demon realm thing. We know that, but we don't know what they look like. We don't know what their whole deal is. We don't know. We don't know. Okay, next for pros. Next pro I'm going to put, like I told y'all, and you have to trust me on this one. You have to trust me on this one. The fights. The fights are going to be better choreographed than Dragon Ball Super. Choreography. Let me write that there. I should make this into its own video, bro, but whatever. It's fine. I don't care. So, okay. So, the choreography of the fight's going to be better. Now, bad. What do you think is a con? What do you think it should be in the con section right now? Hold on, y'all give me a lot of pros. Oh, I know what's the con. It's not Moro. And I'm going to put a question mark there. Is that really a con? Is that really, dog, the fact that people's negative of Dragon Ball Daima is that it's not Moro tells us that this fucking fandom is in decay right now, bro. If your biggest criticism is it's not Moro, fuck, bro. That's like saying, oh, okay, you gave me a piece of horse shit and not a piece of dog shit. I'm mad. I'm only being I'm not being serious when I say that, but it's just weird that that's where we're at right now. Now, what we don't know, story. We don't know anything about the story. We don't know shit about the fucking story. Could be good, could be bad. You're not gonna see, I'm not gonna put story under cons because that's stupid. We don't even know what the fucking story is yet. The real story. Actually, I'm gonna fix this real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna write kids again. Hold on. Okay, now the third pro. World building. World building. We're gonna have a lot of world building. We're gonna explore new worlds. World building and exploration. Okay, so again, world building is a pro. Now, I am going to give you a con right now that I think a lot of you are going to agree with. No Ultra Instinct. I'm not saying that as a guarantee. I'm going to put a question mark at the end of it, but I'm pretty sure there's not going to be no Ultra Instinct in this show. Now, what we don't know is how many episodes or how long it'll be. I already discussed 3 days ago or 2 days ago. I already did a video how that 20 episode rumor's bullshit. So we don't know how long it'll be. We don't. Well, I'll put no UI UE. I mean, even though UE hasn't been animated yet, we're probably not going to get that. Okay. Maybe in the Goku versus Vegeta fight. Maybe. Maybe. My favorite Mortal Kombat ninja is Sub-Zero. That's from Sasuke Uchiha's super chat. Hold on, let me get these super chats real quick because I gotta answer this real quick. So, I'm made out of brown mess. What? He says, do the Japanese resonate more with a Kid Goku and Dragon Ball's roots more than what the manga later became? They're trying to gain interest that way. Possibly. It's more so just a tribute to the old stuff. C3 says, another issue I have with Daima is that it just doesn't feel canon to me. C3, man, you should know better than that, bro. You should know better than that, bro. Now, he says it feels like another sideshow similar to Super Dragon Ball Heroes. That I can agree with. That part I do agree with. It does feel like a side story. And you know what? I will put that as one of the cons in the next section. So, hold on. So, C3's con of it feels like a side story is going to go there. Direct Toriyama touch is my biggest pro, making it likely feel closer to the original manga than anything else in the Dragon Ball Renaissance. Yeah, but here's so hold on. So the next pro I'm gonna add is Toriyama, right? But you know what the next con I'm gonna write is? Toriyama. Look, hear me out. 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 I'm glad Toriyama's more involved with this than he was Super. I'm glad that he is. However, let's be honest. Modern Toriyama is nowhere near as good as original 80s, 90s Toriyama. I'm sorry, but that's the objective truth. So, I'm putting Toriyama as both a pro and a con here. Because it could be either one. Now, Dingus said more new video game content. He's right. I'm actually going to make that 2. So, new characters and video game content. I'm actually going to move the Toriyama one down because that's not that important and there's still a lot of... You know what, bro? Actually, hold on. Hold on, I'm going to fix this here. Okay. Goku having the Nioibo. I think you missed my super chat. Let me check. Brian T sent a super chat in. Let me see if I missed it. Hold on. Because I may have. Wait. In the case that Daima fits in after superhero. Yeah, sorry I did miss your super chat, man. Let me read it to you real quick. Could we see a side arc or prequel arc out of the manga as we lead up to Daima's release? I don't know. I honestly have no idea. I think we're going to get an answer. I think the answer to your question will come at Jump Festa next month. If it's going to come, it'll be then. So, but that's possible. I will say it's possible. I don't know for sure, but it is possible. Okay. That's a good one. Shane says Super Saiyan 4. We don't know if it's going to be in the show. William, I put that under world building and I'm going to add it to world building because that's all one thing. So, okay. Paul Miranda, this has nothing to do with GT, bro. Like, where is this stuff about GT coming from? This has nothing to do with GT, bro. They take one aspect of GT and all of a sudden now it's a GT reboot. One aspect, bro. But I'll bet when Super Saiyan 4 comes around, it's like, bro, hold on. Let me get full screen for just a minute. This is the Dragon Ball fandom right here. They're rebooting GT. We don't want that. Yo, did you see Super Saiyan 4 with that good animation? Oh my god, this is the best shit ever. Oh my god. Like, dude, just wait for it. Just wait. Maybe it'll suck. Maybe it won't. What pisses me off and annoys me is the people being so like stuck in their ways. Just wait and let's see if it's good. So, we don't even know if we're going to get that stuff. I hope so. Have they currently dropped DBS altogether? What are you talking about? I don't understand the question. Do you think characters will stay as kids for the whole episodes? I don't know how many episodes are going to be kids. Fans have PTSD from GT. But GT isn't even that bad. Like, where did this, is this GT hatred coming from the dub, bro? Listen, don't even sit here and tell me that you hate GT if you only saw the dub. Then there's okay. Okay, Dingus Fever says, okay, better power scaling. He basically says, but that's also something we don't know. I'm gonna put down the we don't know category. So he says that, I'm gonna read exactly what he said. The characters being kids again might be on a more equal playing field, so more characters would get more chances to shine. That's gonna be in the maybe categories. We don't know that yet. No, Yash, we do not know that yet. How long will be episodes? What? Wait a minute, C3. Wait a minute. If you think GT's not that bad, then why? I don't understand why you're so negative on this, bro. Because you wanted Moro? Is that what it is? Because you wanted Moro? Is that what? Please don't tell me that's your answer, bro. Saturn Review says, keeps the community engaged. That's true. All right, fandom engaged. So what else is a con, bro? Because I've only got 4 cons so far. 5 if you count Toriyama. Timeline is over here. We don't know what the timeline is yet, officially. I just hate how the whole cast is weak. But you don't even know how... But how are they weak? How do you even know if they're weak? And weren't they weak during Super? What the fuck did fucking Krillin do during Super, bro? Or Master Roshi, bro? What the fuck? Like, y'all... What I don't understand about this Daima shit is people are bitching about shit that Super... That Daima hasn't even done yet, but that Super's done. This has been a problem for a while now, bro. What we don't know, Kid Gogeta, Kid Vegito. I guess you're right. I'm going to just write fusions there because I'm just going to put them all together, you know. No, it's not a con, Priya, because we don't know if Gohan's in it or not. Highly unlikely Gohan will not be in it. Yeah, but why are people saying there's a power nerf? We don't really know if there is yet. We're not even sure yet. That's more of a, that's why I put that over here in the what we don't know category. We don't even know if there's going to be a power nerf. But Nova Fox, that was in the manga. That was only in the manga. That wasn't even in the anime. It's common in storytelling that if you get reverted as a kid, they get nerfed. What other stories are there where somebody gets nerfed as a kid? I'm serious. I actually don't know the answer. How many stories turn people into kids again? I can't imagine there's that many, right? Zio Liddell said, more money spent on action figures, pros and cons. I guess that is a pro and a con. Broly Beerus Whis. Con, Goku and Supreme Kai leaving Earth. How is that a con? Con, no mustache Vegeta. Steven Gamer said Dragon Ball Rugrats, but I'm excited for new DB still. Bro, you know what's funny about that? So I want to know what episode of Rugrats... Hold on, I'm going to get big for this. I want you to tell me, I want the whole chat now to tell me, what episode, tell me what episode of Rugrats features Tommy Pickles blowing up a fucking planet, bro. What episode of Rugrats has Chucky swinging a bow around fighting aliens, bro? Please, I'll wait. I'll wait. Since it's Dragon Ball Rugrats, I'll wait, bro. I'll wait. No progression. Um, we don't know that yet, though, do we? Do we really know this is not a progression? No, fuck you. Hold on. You can't sit here and say there's no progression, bro. Hold on. Hold on. Bullshit. Look, you're only saying no progression because it's not Moro. See, that's the thing right here. Refer to it's not Moro, bro. It's not Moro. That you're doing the it's not Moro argument. You don't know if there's no progression. That's more for what we don't know. Ugh, excuse me. No new transformations, but you don't know that though. You notice how do y'all see the point that I'm making, bro? Do you guys see the point that I'm making that Dragon Ball fans are coming up with cons of shit that we don't even fucking know yet? This is gonna suck. There's no transformations. This is gonna suck. There's no story. This is gonna suck. You don't even know. You don't even fucking know. There isn't even a single episode out. And you're gonna sit there and criticize shit that you don't even know. Like, how the fuck do you know there's no transformations and no new ones if we have a trailer where most of it was from the first episode? What the fuck, man? Y'all can't be that emotional. I refuse to believe that grown men are that fucking emotional, bro. There's no way I believe. Then again, this is gonna suck because Goku's left toenail is slightly shorter than it was supposed to be. We don't even look at Moro as progression. Dragon needs to get it together. I agree. I don't even think Moro's progression. You know what would be progression, bro? After the end of Z. That's what we want. Well, you're saying about the Majins, but I'm gonna put that under villains. That would count under villains. Thank you, Kendall Little. And thank you, Stephen Gamer. He says Dragon Ball Rugrats, but I think I answered that earlier when I said the whole Tommy Pickles thing. When did Chucky Finster fucking... What episode of Rugrats did Chucky Finster go into space and fucking fight demons, bro? Because I want to see that. I want to see that episode, bro. Is it likely this is the last of the anime for some time because of the age of the voice actors? That's a good question. I don't know. I can't say that for sure. I can't say that for sure. Even though I agree with you, it's getting weird. Anderson Blitz says, I know it's been 2 weeks, but I'm so happy you and the fans were sending positive reactions to my granola cosplay at New York Comic Con. That was you? Hold on. Time out. Time out. Hold on. We'll get back to this in a minute. Hold on. Anderson Blitz in the chat is the guy at New York Comic Con. Remember when they pulled all those people on stage? He was the guy with the granola cosplay. And I made a comment and I was like, yo, that guy's dressed like granola. I didn't think anybody was cosplaying as him yet, and it was good. That's crazy, bro. Like, yes, that was... Everybody in the chat needs to pay homage to this dude, bro. Everybody needs to pay homage. How many of y'all are here right now? It's early in the morning or late at night, depending on where you live. We got to pay homage to this guy, bro, because that dude's costume was, like, really, really, really good. You know, like, really good. Like, it was so good it almost looked real. Like, that's how granola would look if he was real. Okay, so Lazy Rokako writes, Cons. Manga might adapt Daima. Lazy Rokako, let me ask you a question. Is the manga called Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Daima? Because, I don't know, maybe I missed something. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. Is the manga called Dragon Ball Super or Dragon Ball Daima? Because last time I checked, it was called Dragon Ball Super. Saturn Reviews, I think it's already kind of doing that, to be honest with you. Will Supreme Kai be turned to a child affect Beerus in any way? Asking considering there was a connection. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think it would. But anyways, yes, that is good. That is a good cosplay. Hold on. Laser Kid says, calling Daima Dragon Ball Rugrats is such room temperature IQ naming, akin to my boomer parents calling OG Dragon Ball Z babies. Guys don't act like boomers. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Did your parents really call original Dragon Ball Z babies, bro? Are you dead ass with that shit, bro? Are you fucking with me right now? Dragon Ball Daima. That's pretty clever, Scholar. I actually never heard that one yet. I'm fucking mad I didn't come up with it first, to be honest with you. I'm actually mad that I didn't. Laser Kid's parents called original Dragon Ball babies. You know what you should do? Laser Kid, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Next month, when you go home, I want you to show your parents the scene where Piccolo rips his arm out of his socket and regrows one, and then ask them if it's still Dragon Ball Z babies. Do me that favor, bro. Just do me that favor, bro. Do you think Kid Goku fusion with Kid Vegeta would look anything like Gotenks? No, it would look like Gogeta as a kid. It'd be Kid Gogeta, you know? Lazy Rokako says, is it true that only called Dragon Ball Z confused a 2 with a Z? No, that is not true. That is false information I debunked years ago. Dude, he literally told you months ago that he was going to cosplay as Granola. Yeah, but I don't remember. I can't remember everything everybody tells me, bro. I'm sorry, I don't remember. I'm sure, maybe he did. I genuinely don't remember. I don't remember everything everybody tells me. It was a good cosplay. I just legitimately don't remember. Plus, there could have been a gazillion Granola cosplays. His was actually good. Let's be real. Let's keep it 100, y'all. There are some bad cosplays out there. I would never tell a cosplay artist their cosplay's bad. Obviously, his was good. But I would never say that. But in your mind, you're thinking, this ain't that good. Let's get back to the game we're playing here. Hold on. So let's go. Let's move back over here. Okay. So right now, let's look at what we have so far. Animation. Oh, I know something else. Hold on. Soundtrack. We don't know what the music's going to be like. That's another one. I like how Ray Lynn in the chat says, pro, skipping Moro Granola. That's hilarious, dude. I'm going to write, it's not super OMG. Okay, so again, let's look at Anderson Blitz says, my favorite part is the memes of Toei hates me. No, Toei hates me. Toei doesn't hate the fandom. Toei hates me, bro. Okay, so 21 Savage, I think the music will be good too, but and I agree with what Anderson Blitz said. I hope the music is a JRPG style. I agree with that. I actually hope that is true. Silverland said con, no Broly. Laser Kid said, first of all, that's not really a con. Laser Kid says Toei hates everyone. Okay, Ariel made a good one. No blood, cause it's supposed to, that's good. I'm putting that in the cons. Very good. Very, very good choice. No old villains, pro or con? That's a pro, dog. That's a big pro. I'm tired of them bringing back old villains. Brody is trolling in the chat. Okay, let's review what we've got so far. So in the pros category, animation, the fight choreography, world building and lore, new characters, video game content, Toriyama and fandom is engaged. Probably. Cons, premise, they're being kids again. It's not super. Oh my god, it's not super, but we wanted Moro. We shat on Moro, but now we want it all of a sudden. No UI, no UE. Feels like, and I wrote a question mark, we're not sure either. Feels like a side story. No blood, Toriyama. Bad Toriyama. And then, what we don't know. Actually, wait, What we don't know is villains, story, how long it is, Super Saiyan 4, power scaling, timeline, fusion, soundtrack, techniques. So let me tell you why I did this exercise. Let me tell y'all why we even did this together. I'll tell you why. Because if anybody is bitching about anything in this column, bro, you're just a fucking poopy face. Your brain is poopy. Because we literally know nothing about any of this. We do not have any information about any of this. So if your criticism is this, dude, you're just making up reasons to hate something you don't like. Fine. Now, if you don't like Daima because of these reasons, I understand. I understand. However, this one right here is not Dragon Ball Daima's fault. This one right here is Shueisha's fault. You have to blame Shueisha. And something else I want to tell you, because I had somebody leave a comment on one of my videos saying this. There's people that think that because Dragon Ball Daima exists, that Dragon Ball Super the anime does not. And that's wrong. Once again, Dragon Ball Daima or nothing. You either get this show or you get nothing at all. And it's weird if you want nothing, bro. If you want that fucking manga that is, if all you want is that fucking manga, bro, and not at least something else, for fuck's sake. Even if it's a movie or something. Wait, I have to respond to Obi here real quick. Obi says, to me, the problem is that there's like not going to be any stakes. Recently, Dragon Ball sets up a problem, but they resolve it quickly. So let me ask you a question, Obi. Is that a problem with Dragon Ball Daima or is that a problem with Dragon Ball? Because you said Dragon Ball. If Dragon Ball Super already has its own problems, you can't use it against Daima. You can't sit there and say there's no stakes in Daima if Super doesn't have any fucking stakes either. The problem with people, bro, is that people are very hypocritical and don't know when they're being hypocritical. And I'm not saying you, I'm saying people. You can't shit on Daima for doing something Super's done for years. So Claudio 87 Amorosi says, I'm going to read a super chat. Everyone needs to chill on Super. I'm sure Daima is just to allow Super Anime to have more material. I guess time will tell. That's not the reason why it exists. I see why you would think that. There's more to it than that. But like Laser Kid said, there's been no stakes in modern Dragon Ball in a long time. But what I was going to tell you was, by the way, I wrote techniques down here because I wanted y'all to see that people were asking about like the evil containment wave and stuff like that. Like, I'm put all of that under we don't know. We do not know. We do not know if what's going to be in it yet. So SSJ Black Zeno said taking risks with the premise. Okay, that's one of his pros. Now, I see where you're coming from, but we don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Yes, Dragon Ball Daima is a risk. Without question it is. Muka Modius says no one important dying as a kid. Muka, who died during Super that didn't get brought back? Name one person. Name one important character that's not a villain that died during Super that didn't get brought back. One adult. Name one, bro. I'll wait. Just since y'all want to fucking throw this shit at me without thinking, name one character in Super that died and didn't get brought back. Gamma 2. That's the only one. But I said important character. Was Gamma 2 important? I don't think so. Let me get the super chat here. C3 says, the superhero manga retelling is ending soon. I fucking hope so. Gamma 2's not an important character, bro. Orale died in your dreams. Where do you think we are going afterwards? That's the big question for now. The end of Z finally? I fucking hope so, bro. I really, really hope so. But here's the problem. We have a little bit of a problem here. The problem is, I'm gonna leave this. Hold on. I'm gonna leave that there for now. But hold on a minute. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to the big camera here. Okay, so what I was trying to say was to continue what C3 was asking. The issue is that I hope that we do get End of Z, but there's a problem. The problem is Daima, because Daima is probably not after the end of Z. It could be, not sure. So are they going to jump to the post end of Z stuff before Daima starts? I don't know. That's the thing. This whole thing is weird to me. That's why I said earlier that the decision to even make Dragon Ball Daima at all was weird. I think it's a weird decision, but I'm not gonna shit on it. AK Gaming says Toei taking DB fans for granted. People waited 5 years for the manga and movie arcs anime retelling, but they made tunes for a new gen of kids. It's the same thing over and over again, bro. And taking old fans for granted, they know we'll watch anyways. Yeah, well, fuck you then. I'm not saying that to you. Toei is saying that to you. I'm not saying that to you, but also, let's go back for a minute. It's not Toei. It's Shueisha. It's Shueisha. Toei has nothing to do with Dragon Ball Super not coming back. It's Shueisha. Anderson Blitz says, I'm not mad at Dragon Ball Daima existing. I'm just glad we're getting new anime content. I have been saying that now for 3 weeks. And what I don't understand, why are people still bitching about it not being super? It's been 3 weeks already, bro. Like, do people not get over shit? It's a fucking cartoon, bro. Oh, I'm sorry, it's an anime. Like, oh my god, dude. Like, okay, it's not super. Would you, again, we're getting something. I wanted Moro. Okay, well, how about this? Fucking go on your fucking Twitter or your live journal or whatever and just write fuck Toei, fuck Shueisha. I want Moro, and see what happens, bro. I got a better idea. Why don't you tweet at Shueisha and tweet at Toei and tell them you want super? Because fans have been doing that for the past 5 years. And what has that gotten you? It's gotten you this. Dragon Ball Daima. I'm just saying, bro, like, maybe it's because I'm different. I just never really, like, I'm just, it's weird. It's just weird because, like, I understand people want super, but it's already been so many weeks now. Like, let it go. You know what I mean? Like, let it go. It'll come when it comes. I do this shit for a living. I've wanted super to come back for years because it means more money in my pocket. And yet, I'm over here, like, chilling. So if I'm chilling, Sean nailed it, bro. Sean from the internet says, I'm not looking forward to the next year of people complaining about a show they know nothing about. God bless you. I would not have done what they're doing with Daima. I've said that a million times. Any DB content makes you money. Well, no. Well, yes, but Super would make me more money. That's obvious, man. Hold on, let me get this super chat from Claudio. He says, this could be Toriyama's memoir and his last time on writing for Dragon Ball. Seeing that next year will be 40 years, it would be a fitting way. It could be. Anderson Blitz says at this point, if people want to see Moro granola arcs, they should support the fan animation works that's out there. That's true. I'm not saying that people don't have a right to complain about not getting super, but you're getting something. And I just don't really understand, like, and you don't know any, like, the complaints are just, like, stupid. 90% of the complaints is that it's not super. Like, I've seen other complaints, like the whole kid premise and all that. I get it, but it's like, but was super really that good? It really wasn't. It was fine. It was fun. I had fun with it, but it wasn't like this magnificent work of art. Now, the other thing that I don't understand is Super's probably going to come along later anyways. You know what I'm saying? There will probably be a Super anime someday. We just don't know when, and I'm not going to speculate. But it's like, the other thing too is, I'm guessing there's probably going to be more movies also coming out. Not next year, but I mean like later on. You know what I'm saying? I had fun with Super. But I've also gotten over waiting for it. I got over that in 2020, bro. When the pandemic happened, I was busy with other things, other problems, you know what I'm saying? There were other things going on. So, before we get out of here, I want to give one last plug to the Dragon Ball Unseen Patreon. That's patreon.com/Dragon Ball Unseen. Please support us on Patreon so that episode 2 can have more animation, more art. We've got 15 patrons, but we need more. The least you can sign up for is why am I stuttering? Is $3 a month. It's the least you can do. Again, that's patreon.com/Dragon Ball Unseen. The next episode will have more animation, more art, but we need your support. We need your support, and you're going to get a whole bunch of extra stuff with it. So if you don't like Dragon Ball Daima, if you're one of the people who don't want Dragon Ball Daima, and you want Dragon Ball with blood and like more adult themes, but not have it be all gory, like it'll be bloody, but it won't be like super gory. Go to Dragon Ball Unseen. Patreon.com/Dragon Ball Unseen. We need your help. We need your help to make episode 2 better. How is 18 a kid too if she has an android body? Because she's not entirely android. I've answered that question a few different times. Check out the Android Explained video. It goes into detail about how her body is. I'm made out of brownies. Does Toriyama want to go past Z or knows how? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, if you're unhappy with Dragon Ball Daima, support Dragon Ball Unseen. You will get a bunch of bonuses. I uploaded a Stephanie Nadolny raw take for episode 1, so you're gonna get to hear lines from Nadolny. That's only if you're a patron. You get to hear lines from Nadolny that that you haven't heard yet, and you get access to a bunch of extra stuff. So Dragon Ball Unseen. Patreon.com/Dragon Ball Unseen. Help us out, man, because we want to give you a better product. And episode 2 is going to be so much better with your support. So help us out. As far as Toriyama wanting to go past the end of Z, I have no idea. I think it's more of a corporate move at this point, but he's very much... Yeah, like Converse said, Toriyama's just a tool for them. Accept it. You're actually not wrong. He kind of is a tool for them. Dingus Fever said, I'm out of the loop on Dragon Ball Unseen. What is it? Dragon Ball Unseen is my fan creation. It's showing the unseen moments of Dragon Ball. Stuff that you've never seen before. We're going to animate it. We're going to have our own custom art. So that is what it is, and it's a project that I'm co-producing with other people and I'm writing for. So it's done by me, by Dragon Ball fans, for Dragon Ball fans, and we need your support. So patreon.com/Dragon Ball Unseen. Go there, give us some of your patronage, and it would really help us out. We will take that. It's going to go only to paying for the franchise for Dragon Ball Unseen, nothing more. We need your help. So anyways, yeah, I mean, bottom line is, bro, let me bottom line this real quick. Here is the list that we made. Here are the pros, here are the cons. There's a lot we don't know. Ultimately, these things here on the right, the things in this, the things right here in this section, when these things, when we get these things fleshed out, then we'll be able to really judge it. If all these things here end up in the cons category, Dragon Ball Daima wasn't good. But if they end up in the pros category, then Dragon Ball Daima will be good. So is that not fair? Is that not the fairest way to look at this? I think it is. I think it's the best way. The next arc of the manga will be getting announced probably in December, so next month. I could be wrong on that. Next month. Cyronix, yes, things like Yard Rat, but not Yard Rat. I'm not doing that yet. We're doing something else first. We're doing how Vegeta got Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan God, with some surprises. The fairest way to look at it in just 1 year. Right, but here's the thing. We're going to know more soon. We're going to get more trailers and more information on Dragon Ball Daima in the weeks to come, in the months to come. January, we're going to get something. So, there you go. Hold on, let me answer this super chat from Robert Wolf. Robert Wolf says, Daima's taking one of the worst ideas from GT. Hold on a second, yo. I'm gonna read his thing here. Give me one moment. Okay, now what I was saying was, Robert Wolf writes, Daima taking one of the worst ideas from GT, that being Goku being a kid again, and amplifying it. They should have just had a new series with Pan and Bulla if Toriyama wanted to do more adventurous series. I agree with you. I actually agree with everything that Robert just said. But what did I say earlier in the stream? Robert, I'm not sure if you were here for earlier in the stream. Earlier in the stream, I said, what do Dragon Ball fans really want? Stories after the end of Z. That's what everyone unanimously wants. If they were to do a Pan story, it would be after the end of Z. So I think you're right. I'm not saying to not have Goku and Vegeta in the stories. Robert is saying they could have done it with Pan and Bra and all them. I'm saying they could have had everybody there, but had it be after the end of Z. Yeah, I could tell you weren't, and that's okay, but I'm just saying, like, I agree with you. However, does that mean that Daima's going to suck? If that one thing turns you off to Daima, all I'm going to say is just wait to see when we find out more information. Because if you like good fights and good storytelling, Daima's going to be for you. Good world building. The Barn says, do we get a Universe 6 movie spinoff if they're releasing shows like Dragon Ball Daima? I hope so. I want them to do more Dragon Ball shows. And I don't mean like Daima. I mean, I want them to do shows about other characters. But what can you do? You know what I mean? Like, what can you really do, you know? Yeah, I want to see Daima first before saying it's going to be good or bad. But it just depends. Hold on, Anderson. I'll check in a minute. It just depends on, like, it depends on a lot of different factors. Anderson Blitz says, Dragon Ball fans are like wrestling fans where they are obsessed with violence and fickle every time something new is announced. Huh. Yeah, I mean, sometimes. The thing I've noticed about wrestling fans versus Dragon Ball fans, I think Dragon Ball fans are typically a lot more toxic than wrestling fans. The problem with both fandoms is that it's filled with a bunch of know-it-alls. Wrestling fans, though, sometimes ignore reality, whereas Dragon Ball fans tend not to. Dragon Ball fans jump the gun on shit a lot. Wrestling fans, sometimes they do. You know what? They kind of are like, shit. There's very little differences, bro, to be honest. There seems to be a little bit less tribalism in Dragon Ball fans. Because you don't have Dragon Ball... Well, maybe not. Because you've got dub versus sub shit still going on. This guy said, do you think Dragon Ball fans from Japan can read? That's funny. I don't think we're going to get that new movie next year. I don't think it's happening. I think if we get another movie, it won't be next year. It could be the year after, but I don't think it'll be next year. But when it comes to like wrestling fans versus like anime fans, I don't know, man. They're not that different. I don't know, I guess anime fan, I don't know. Fuck. They're not that different, bro. You might be onto something. Okay, Robert Wolf says, I'm sorry if I sounded too negative. Why I dislike Daima is because it's too much like GT and there's so much left unexplored. Yeah, but how is it, okay, Robert, how is it too much like GT, bro? Because Goku's becoming a kid again? That's it. That's the only thing that's like GT. What else about Daima is like GT? We had a whole ass stream, bro. We had a whole ass stream. Let me pull it back up again. We discussed this. The premise. Kids again. Okay, I get it. People hate the premise. None of this is like GT. Like, Toriyama wasn't as involved with GT. The Supreme Kai wasn't really as involved. Like, the only thing that's out that we know is they become kids again. Like, I get it. I get people don't like that idea, but it's not GT. It's not. Why would they do another GT? How does that make sense? But, again, we'll find out in a year. Phantom89 says, favorite wrestler, and do you watch What Culture for wrestling? My favorite wrestler is Bret Hart, at least of the guys that are my all-time. My favorite right now is Bryan Danielson. Do you watch What Culture? No, I don't watch What Culture. And I don't know anything about What Culture, so I couldn't even... I don't know. I can't really give you an opinion on that. But what I'm saying is, the only thing that's like GT is the premise. Besides that, like, what else? Okay, yeah, you hate the premise, bro. So what's going to happen if Daima turns out to be good? Then what? What if then you see it and you're like, hey, this wasn't so bad? I don't know if it's going to be good or not. I'd be lying if I had a crystal ball. I have no clue if it's going to be good. Dalton Cobb says he met Kyle Bear at Atlanta Anime Weekend, and I mentioned your interview, and he was praising you about always being in the know. Fuck. Yeah, bro. Claudio, I appreciate what you're saying, but Robert wasn't here for the first part of the... Robert was not here for the first part of the stream, but we discussed all that already, Robert. We talked about, like, the problems with this new show, and the premise is only one thing. What if the premise is... Okay, what about this? What about this? Let me paint you this picture. Okay, the premise of Dragon Ball Daima is trash, right? Fine. Garbage. Horrible. What if it's got better fights, better choreography, better storytelling, better music, better everything than Super? Are people still gonna shit on the premise? Who knows? No, you don't have to apologize for not being here. I'm just catching you up to speed. That's what happened. That is what happened. We do not know yet. I just think people are shitting on the premise, but yet, what if the show turns out to be pretty good? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is this. I was told that there's a fight early on in the show that people are going to go nuts for based on the choreography and how good the fight is. So if that's true, then good. I just think we should wait to get more information. I think we're going to get more information in January, so you don't have to wait that long. Late January, the Dragon Ball Fight Hour. But they're not going to give us everything now. They're going to sprinkle little bits of information to build up hype. There's no question that Japan knows what... Japan knew that people weren't going to like... Well, let me take that back. Japan probably knew that some weren't going to like it. However, that guy screaming at Akio at New York Comic Con, that ain't the move, bro. That ain't the move. You don't. It's not classy to tell a Japanese man we don't want this when he flew all the way from Japan to give you this trailer. Like, that just wasn't cool. Like, in my opinion, that was just very rude. You can hate Daima all you want to, just don't be rude to the producers. That's just not cool if you ask me. I'm Made of Brown Mess says, are Toei scared of DB without Toriyama even spinoff? I don't know about scared, but they like putting his name on everything. I don't know about scared, but they like putting his name on everything. They love putting his name on everything, as you know. They love putting his name on everything. Walter said that JP Twitter was a lot more positive about Daima. No, and that's true. Hold on a minute. Mayank speaks. I've answered your question already. Please stop spamming the same question over and over again. I'm not going to boot you, but that's one of the rules. Do not spam the same question over again. Okay, hold on. Yash says, the premise is that the entire cast got turned into children via a curse from a demon, and they must explore the demon realm. Details make it entirely different from GT. Well, okay. We don't know exactly about the demon realm yet, although I don't think you're wrong entirely on that. But, yeah, that he's right, though. It is different. I agree with Robo P. He says, it's not respectful. Akio is presenting it to fans. I understand the frustration, but it was a very knee-jerk reaction. It's just rude, bro. Like, I just wouldn't attack a creator for that. William says they do that because they're afraid of being sued by Toriyama. No, that's wrong. I don't know what bullshit you've been reading. Who lied to you? What will your next live stream be about? I don't know. I don't know. Actually, Deuce, you're wrong. Let me answer Deuce's post. He says, I get the impression that Japan's a lot more positive about Super than America is. Actually, no. I don't know if I've told you guys this. And I don't know what Anderson Blitz... Well, he's actually talking about what... Because he was there. Look, I don't know if y'all know this. Super was not liked in Japan by the hardcore fans. The young people liked Super. The older Toriyama fans from the 80s hated Super. They did not like Super. Right? Daima, though, people are in. It's funny how America liked Super, Japan didn't like it as much. America doesn't like Daima, Japan's excited for it. It's very interesting. It's very interesting that it's like that, you know? It's weird, isn't it? I know we're different cultures, but I mean, come on. I agree with Game Informer. Game Informer said what I've been trying to say for the past 2 hours. He says there's so many routes they could have done with Super, like world building, different untold stories, or even continued Super manga. Everyone can agree they wanted a continuation beyond Z. Right, after the end of Z. People don't care about, like, the whole Moro arc thing. Fuck that. People wanted after Z. Samuel Kasim says, is Dragon Ball Z History of Trunks officially canon as it's based on a manga? We don't really talk about canon because there is no official canon, right? But I'm going to answer your question because you kindly left the super chat and I'm going to be kind to you in return. In the manga, the history of Trunks was called the Story of Trunks, and it was different. The manga version of the Story of Trunks, Trunks was already Super Saiyan before Gohan died. In the anime version, they added more scenes, and Trunks turned Super Saiyan after Gohan died. So those are the two major differences. The Story of Trunks in the manga was written by Toriyama. The anime version was not. Obviously, Toriyama's never written a single episode of Dragon Ball Z. He's only done the manga. So, the History of Trunks anime, as you said, is based on the Story of Trunks manga, but they're not exactly identical. There are some differences. Dragon Ball Z is different than the Dragon Ball manga. Like the Dragon Ball anime is different than Dragon Ball manga. They always add things. I don't want to say filler because it's not all filler, although you could use that word. You know? I don't want to use that word, but you could. I agree with PJ Barnes. I would like to see a kid tournament. Yeah, Japan is composed of older Dragon Ball fans. Like, Japan's Dragon Ball audience is guys in their 40s and 50s. Because they read the manga when they were in their 20s, and that shit came out in the 80s. You understand what I'm saying? So the hardcore Toriyama people from back then do not like Super. That I know for certain because I've talked to a few of them. In fact, I'm going to tell y'all a story that might actually blow your mind. I was talking to a Japanese gamer. He's a Japanese streamer and he streams video games. And he said that his favorite Dragon Ball story arc is the 21st tournament. Goku versus Master Roshi is his favorite fight. How many American Dragon Ball fans do you hear saying that? You know what I mean? Like, how often do you hear that from an American? I've never heard that. Well, that's not true. There's probably been like one or two people I've talked to have said that, but it's just not very common. Like, it's crazy. Like, he said that, and I'm just like, that's not even the best tournament. I'm different though because like I like Dragon Ball the most. Like of the main Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball of the main anime. Dragon Ball Z, GT, Super, and well, Daima hasn't out yet, but Kai, let's just say, even though it's the same shit as Z. Dragon Ball is my favorite, followed by Dragon Ball Z. Kazama Champion says canon is subjective. That's like saying Goku being the main character is not canon. I didn't say canon was subjective. I said there is no canon. I don't know what you mean. He might be responding to somebody else in the chat. I don't know. But yeah, Japanese fans are different, bro. I didn't even use the word subjective. Yeah, Dragon Ball Daima is going back to his roots. I think, if you want me to be honest with you, I don't know if C3 is still in the chat, but based on what I was told, I genuinely think that when Daima episode 5 or 6 come out, people are going to be on board. I think even people like C3, even people like Robert earlier in the chat, I think they're going to like look at it and see where the story's going and see the fight and be like, you know what? I'll try it out. And they're going to watch every week. Because it's a new Dragon Ball story. Like, even if you don't like the premise, just because it's a new Dragon Ball story, does that not give you some curiosity? At least some curiosity. At least you're going to be sitting there saying, okay, where is this going? Who is this villain? And also, what about this? What if, think about this for a minute. I want you to think about this for a minute. If Daima introduces a new villain, how do we know that that villain isn't gonna lead into a Dragon Ball Super character later on? How do we know that they're not tied later on some way? Like, we don't even know if like Daima's got another if there's another purpose to it. They might be setting something up. They could be using Daima to introduce a new race that's going to be more important later on. Like, people aren't thinking about these things, man. People aren't like really thinking about like, you know, you got to think about those things. Ding dong, we don't know yet. Ding dong. We don't know yet. There's your response. Will Grandpa Gohan make a cameo in Daima? I don't think so. I hear that. But anyways, people don't really know. Like, this could all be done to introduce something that's going to be more important later. All right. Did anybody here think when Resurrection F came out and Frieza was killed at the end, they were not going to show that they weren't going to show like? Okay, let me start the question over again. When Dragon Ball Resurrection F came out, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F, when that movie ended, right, did anybody think we're ever going to see Frieza again? Because I sure as hell didn't think so. And now look, he's come back like again in the Tournament of Power. And he came back again in the Granola arc as Black Frieza. I didn't think they were going to bring him back again. You know, like, I couldn't have expected that. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was it for Frieza. I thought we weren't going to see. I thought Resurrection F was going to be the end of Frieza. He came back. We had our little movie. We're done. And then he came back. Like, who the fuck knows, man? Like, I don't know. I don't know what. I can sit here and tell you shit I've heard. You think I know what's in Toriyama's head, bro? I stopped trying to figure that man out years ago. I made a video that I've been clowned on where I said in 2016, Trunks is not coming back. Frieza's not coming back. There's no evil Goku. And Broly's not coming back. Buddy, 4 strikes, you're out. I got four things I guessed wrongly. Because you can't figure out what that dude's going to fucking come up with, bro. You know what I mean? And the good thing about Dragon Ball Daima is that it will have a new villain. We just don't know who it is. You know? We don't know who the fuck it is. I think based on the trailer, it looks interesting because it's kind of more like a wizard kind of thing. Like I'm more into that kind of shit. Like, look, okay, characters that are just fighters to me, like that shit's kind of lame. Like I like the wizards and the magic people and shit. Like having fucking like just random fighters to me is like we've seen a million of those. I like characters like what Moro was at first, right? Moro at the beginning of the arc when he was this fucking goat man with this fucking neck beard, fucking like turning off Goku and Vegeta's fucking power-ups and shit. I was in. The beginning of the Moro arc, I was in. And then he became fucking bootleg Cell, bro. All right. I'm not mad about it. It is what it is. But like I want characters like that. Like I like where they're going with this like mystical demon realm shit. I'm into that shit, bro. Perfect Cell said I want Kid Vegito. That'd be wacky, bro. George, we don't know if that's the main villain yet. That could be the assistant. We don't know yet. Here we go with the nobody asked for. C3, do you see my point, bro? Nobody asked for this. Why do people think that Dragon Ball's the only fandom where people say shit like nobody asked for this? Like, why do you think you deserve something else? Like who the fuck do you think you are? You think Japan gives a fuck about you, bro? You think Japan gives a fuck about me? Do you think Japan gives a fuck about any of us? They care about their audience, dog. They don't give a fuck what we want or don't want. Oh, but nobody asked for this, bro. Nobody gives up. They don't care. Like, when have they cared, bro? You know what I'm saying? They just don't care. They don't care. No, I'm not talking to Vivi. Your problem is you checked out for an hour. That was what that's what your problem was. But anyways, I've been trying to close out the stream for a while now. But the point is that like this idea of like nobody cares or nobody asked for this, like since when do they ever listen to us, bro? Like, you know what I mean? They don't care. They don't care about what some like you know that Japanese people are very racist, bro? Did you know that? A lot of Japanese people are racist. I don't know if you know that. A lot of Japanese people are racist, bro. Like, they really don't care. Should they care? Of course, it's money, but you know. Tuwane said, problem is we don't want to see the heroes as kids. Dude, I've talked about this for the past hour already. I know you don't want to see the heroes as kids. I don't want to see them as kids either. Listen, I don't want to see the main characters as kids. I'm going to repeat it so that everybody hears me. I don't want to see the main characters as kids. I agree with you. I do not want to see the main characters as kids. I 100% agree. 100%. I don't want to see them as kids. However, that doesn't mean the show's gonna suck. You know what I'm saying? No, not all of them are racist. I didn't say all of them are racist. But the ones that run Toei sure as fuck are. I don't want to see them as kids, but that does not automatically mean the show's going to be horrible. That's my point. I want to see them having a good story and a good adventure. Kids, adults, whatever. That's what I want. So, it is what it is, man. The difference is I've accepted it. Like it is what it is, bro. This is what we're gonna get for now. I mean, like I said, I would rather. Okay, he says, why'd you bring up the racist thing? And what is the connection? Because people in America seem to think the Japanese care what we want, and they don't. That's why I brought it up. I brought up the fact that they're racist towards Americans and have been since World War II. Especially the old ones that run these companies. That is a fact, my friend. I went to Japan. I know. They do not like, you know what they call us? The old Asians over there call us round eyes. I'm serious. I'm not even making that up. Anybody who's not Japanese, they call round eyes. And no, I'm not saying every Japanese person, but the old ones, like the ones that run Toei and Shueisha and shit, like they do, bro. And that was my point. I'm only pointing it out so that you understand that your opinion to them doesn't matter. And you can sit there and comment to them all day long and say you want super, you want super, you want super. They're not going to give it to you just because you want it. Now, once again, do you think that if I were running Toei, I would have already brought super back. Obviously, you know that. If I were running Shueisha, I would have already brought super back. I would make it seasonal. But I'm not running it. So, I mean, it is what it is, man. Yeah, we started at 5 a.m., but I got to get out of here. Well, random YouTube robot, people here are racist. And I'm not saying it's all Japanese, but there are older ones that are. So what I'm saying is don't expect them to listen to you. You saying we didn't want this is not going to cancel Daima, bro. It's coming. It is what it is. All we can do is hope for the best. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All we can do is hope that this is not going to be trash. That's it. That is it. All we can do is hope that it won't be garbage. And we'll see. Anyways, take care, y'all. Make sure you check out that Patreon. I got to get out of here. Didn't mean to be on this late. I appreciate you. Once again, take care of yourself and each other. Do that. We need to start taking care of each other because people are just dicks sometimes. And we don't want... And don't be like the rest of the internet, man. Be nice to each other. Take care of yourself. I'll catch you very soon. Happy November.